Okay, let's go.
What do people on Twitch call you? What name do you go by on stream?
Well, okay, so I have a couple of nicknames. So Sue Bunny is my gamer tag, but a lot of people will call me like Bunny, Bun, or Bun Buns. So
Mhm.
it's up to whoever.
And what is your age? Where are you from? And what is your day job, if any?
Okay, so I'm 22 years old, 23 next month in October. I'm from Indonesia. I have Indonesian and Egyptian background. I also did live in Australia for quite a while. And my current day job is I work in a hotel, in a small family run hotel. So it's pretty cool. I go to work early in the morning and I come back just as noon starts. So I have the entire afternoon free. So that's when I usually stream.
Hmm. And if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh gosh. Definitely back in Asia. I would either say back home in Indonesia or someplace like Japan. I've been to Japan in the past when I was 14 and it was incredible there and I thought I really fit in. So Japan is a major contender. Um, but yeah, just mainly in Asia, I would see myself like living.
Okay. And how long have you been a streamer?
Um, so oh gosh, I started in 2018 and I actually took some time off, unfortunately, because just like you, I had massive stage fright, actually. I was very antisocial. I was very, how do I say this? I was really insecure.
Mhm.
So I took a bit of a break for a couple years. And then at the end of 2022, just after I met my partner, KG, he kind of pushed me to stream again. So I think around end of October in 2022, I started to take it a little more seriously and doing like uh, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and now I do 5 days a week.
Okay. And at this point, how many followers do you have, and how many viewers on average on your streams?
Uh, Currently close to 2.5K. On my channel, it does show 2.5K, but it rounds up. And my viewers, I think I average around 30 to 40 viewers per stream now.
Oh wow,
Sometimes it drops, sometimes it goes up a little bit, but 30 to 40 is kind of the base, like where it stays.
that's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with it, but could always do better.
And I guess how big of a streamer would you want to be? What kind of numbers would make you feel really satisfied?
Honestly, like right now, I'm really satisfied. I guess my partner has always told me to never look at numbers because it'll get to my head. Um, I think sometimes, though, his advice is kind of hard to take because this is something I want as a career. Um, but getting to like 10K, 20K followers and maybe like 100 average would be, a really, really fulfilling, goal, like a fulfilling feeling to ever see that happen.
Is there any number you would feel overwhelmed with?
I would have to wait and see until it does because I like for me, I'm the sort of person who thinks that I can take on quite a lot. Um, I did back in Australia. When I lived in Australia, I overwhelmed myself with a lot of stuff. Um, so I'm not too sure like how how many people or how many viewers it'll take before I start to get overwhelmed and panicky.
Mhm. What made you want to pick up streaming to begin with?
Well, I've always had a passion for pop culture. It all started back in 2008 when, I was very, very much into like anime. I started cosplaying as well and immersed myself within the pop culture scene. Um, and I always had a console with me, so I started out as a console gamer. I think my first ever console was a Nintendo Wii, and then I got a DS, and then I got a PlayStation, and then gaming has always like been a comfort thing for me. And then what happened in 2019, I went to a convention called PAX. Do you know that convention?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so this is one of the largest gaming conventions. It was in Australia. I went there for my birthday and I immersed myself in the gaming culture. And coming back, I was like, this is something that I want as a part of my life. And I got a job at a video game store. I got a job at GameStop, but Australian version. It's called EB Games. And basically, being able to immerse myself more into the gaming culture made me want to stream more.
Okay. And aside from reaching the numbers you mentioned, what do you hope to accomplish from streaming?
Well, right now, I've actually accomplished one of the things that was on my list. One of the things was building a really warm and genuine community, having people that are loyal to the stream and come back, and we can always like talk and joke around and have a laugh, and people in my community know each other. Like that was one of my biggest goals when I started streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Now I guess one of my biggest goals is to branch out and stream more of my other passion, which is cosplaying. I've been a cosplayer for 11 years now, and I very much know how to build and create props and all of that. And one of my biggest goals is to not only be known as like a gaming type of streamer, but also like a cosplay streamer.
Hmm.
So that's one of my biggest goals, and have I want to be able to teach people as well. So like whenever I do a cosplay stream, I want people who are like-minded to find my stream and maybe learn a thing or two and not be afraid to ask me if they ever need help with cosplaying. So yeah, really like just a community was my biggest goal, and it happened, and it's only just going to get bigger.
Yeah. Now let me ask you about the cosplaying. Like, are you an introvert?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Are you an introvert?
An introvert. Um, not anymore, actually. I'm more of an ambivert now. I I have a very low social battery, but when I'm around people or when I'm streaming and stuff like that, I I use my entire battery, and I'm very loud and open, and I try to be funny sometimes. I think I fail sometimes, but um yeah, ambivert is more of what I am.
Okay. So, have you always felt comfortable cosplaying?
At the start, no, because when I first started, I was only, I think, 11 years old, 12 years old. Um, and the first time I actually wore my cosplays out in public was at a convention, and I saw all these incredible cosplayers with incredible makeup, incredible wigs, like, and beautifully designed costumes, and they're all like intricately built and everything. And I felt extremely insecure. I was not comfortable at all. I thought I looked like a sack of potatoes next to a diamond.
Hmm.
But over time, over time it gets better. With anything, time will always help you,
Mm-hmm.
and practice, of course.
Hmm. And how long did it take you to get comfortable streaming?
Streaming, I think, honestly, it took me around a couple months to be able to talk to myself without feeling awkward. I think if you want an exact number, think around 3 to 4 months
Hmm.
of just straight up practicing, trial and error, failing, and in the end, I was able to crack jokes at myself, like not be afraid to over exaggerate my reactions to a video game, just anything to keep a new viewer or someone who stumbled across my channel like interested and maybe talking.
Hmm. As a new streamer, how do you find things to talk about?
Um Honestly, it's very hard. That's one of the hardest things. Um I mainly just talk like if there's no one in the chat. Or I know when I just started, when there was barely anyone in my chat, no one in my chat, I would just focus on over exaggerating my reactions to the video game or kind of narrate um, what what's going on in the game or what I'm about to do. Um, and if anyone comes into the chat, I ask them, how's it going? How's your day? Anything new? Or like if they have an interesting username, I would mention that. Like, oh, that's a cool username. How do you think of that? Just any sort of questions that I can ask about the viewer to get them talking about themselves. And then in the end, like there will be questions like back and forth that creates conversation. And if anyone else stumbles upon your stream while you're having that conversation with a viewer, then they may want to stay and see what's going on too.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. And at this point, do you consider streaming to be a job, a hobby, a passion, or a project?
I think a little bit of all of the above. I want it to be a job. It's definitely a passion. It's definitely a project. But since I have a day job currently, it's practically still a hobby.
Mm. And
But
if, go ahead.
sorry, I was about to say I count it as a job because I do earn some money from it, which goes towards, my living expenses. So if I stop doing it, I guess it'll be harder for me to pay the bills because it's the money that I get from Twitch comes in handy.
And if streaming did become your job, your career, what schedule would you have and why?
Well, if I could go full time, I would pretty much stream 6 days a week, 1 day off. I would start from the morning and go for as long as maybe 8 hours, just like a normal 8 hour job. 8 hours would be like a perfect time, like perfect length
Hmm.
to stream.
And if you could stream for shorter or longer without it affecting your growth and your viewership, which would you choose?
Um, I would still stay with longer because I really do enjoy being live and talking to people. And no matter how long it is, it's just, I feel like it's something that I can just do for a very long time. If I didn't have a day job, like I would have more energy for it. It's something that I enjoy doing, so I'll just keep doing it until I can't anymore.
And with the success you've had so far, do you ever feel like you should have started streaming sooner?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I think after COVID, everyone the whole gaming culture, the gaming industry boomed. Um, because everyone was stuck in their houses, there was nothing to do. People were buying new consoles, people were getting PCs. I actually got my first ever PC during COVID, actually. Um, so I wish I could have started way sooner. Like 2018, I should have kept going instead of getting scared.
Mm.
But I'm here now, and I'll just make the most with the resources and everything that I've got now.
Let me ask you a couple of hypotheticals.
Yeah, sure.
If you could go back in time to when you just started streaming, Would you do anything differently?
Um, Honestly, I would probably have invested more time into saving for a PC because streaming on console back in the day, back when I had a PS4, oh my god, I still have some clips of when I was streaming on my PS4. The worst quality ever. The worst quality of stream ever. Didn't have a computer or anything to kind of stream off of or even play my console games and stream it through a computer. I couldn't even do that, which I see a lot of console gamers have that option now. Um, so it would have been harder for me back in the day anyway, but I think yeah, definitely putting more time into getting a PC.
Hmm. Here's another one. If you could no longer stream video games, would you stream something else instead?
If I could no longer stream video games,
Yeah.
um, I wouldn't want to no longer stream video games. But if I really wasn't allowed to, it would mainly be cooking streams, cosplay, IRLs. You know, just sharing about my day if I could.
And with the numbers you have today, if you had to start all over again, would you still do it?
Oh yeah, no question. Especially with what I know now, I would definitely do it all over again.
Mm. Before you picked up streaming, did you read up on any advice on how to be a successful streamer?
Nope. I kind of just jumped in there. I was living with my partner at the time, my ex now. Um, he was kind of just like, "Why don't you just stream on Twitch? Like, have you ever thought of trying that? Have you ever thought of doing that?" And I was like, "No. How the hell do you do it? Can you even do it from a console?" He showed me how to do everything. I think I had to look at one video, but that was just how to set everything up. But in terms of tips and tricks and what to do and do's and don'ts, I did not even think about that.
Mm.
Not until I actually got my PC and was like, hey, I can be a PC gamer now. Kind of just went live and bada bing, bada boom.
Mm. And apart from streaming itself, do you promote yourself on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram?
Yes, I've started TikTok. I'm not the best at it, but I try my best. I've got a gaming TikTok. I have also a main TikTok account that's like for mainly like cosplay and stuff like that. But I've just started my gaming TikTok up again, and I do have a gaming YouTube. But I was saying this the other day when I was streaming, but I feel like for me, because I play Overwatch and I'm a tank main, right? I feel like my games aren't the most interesting to watch. So putting like full 10-minute length videos on YouTube is just a waste of time for me.
Mm.
So short form videos and TikToks and stuff, like I will definitely be doing that.
And so then you edit your own videos, right?
Yes, yeah. I uh I have like this super cheap editing software and just try my best with that.
Do you consider editing a chore?
Look, if I'm really gonna be honest, sometimes I I edited two videos last night, and I was in my Discord with a couple of my friends who are in the community, and I literally kept saying I wish that this video could just edit itself because I add in, you know, the subtitles, I crop, and I add like little memes here and there. And my video editing software gets slow, and that's the most annoying part. So yeah, sometimes it's a bit of a chore. But you know, if I want any sort of growth, if I want to put my name out there, I have to do it. You know, content creators just have to do it.
Of course. What is more important to you from viewers? Lurking, chatting, subbing, or donating?
Oh gosh. Honestly, I think lurking and chatting are my major ones. Mainly chatting, because I feel like if my chat is more chatty, I can go for way longer. Because there is a time, sometimes in stream, when I go stream for like a long, long time, there's a point in time where I get bored because lots of people have to go do some stuff, they gotta eat dinner, it's getting late, and I get bored because no one's chatting. So if more people were chatting more often, I could honestly probably stream until I passed out.
Mm,
The donations and subs are freaking great. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think every streamer is happy for the subs and the donos. It definitely helps them keep food on the table. Well, helps me keep food on the table. Um, it helps me be able to save for insurance for my cat, stuff like that, and even continue my hobby of cosplay because cosplay is super expensive. But yeah, in the end, chatting and lurking will definitely be the most important for me.
mm. And what do you think your main appeal as a streamer is? And if you were able to add to that appeal, what would you add?
That's a really good question. um, oh crap. I actually don't know. When I first like came back to streaming, I thought the one thing that I would stand out for is being a tank main, a female tank main, because there aren't many females that play tank on Overwatch. It's mainly just a man's role, and I get that a lot in game as well. I whenever I used to go into a voice chat and speak, and I'm playing tank. You know, I get men in my video games going, "Why the hell are you on tank? You're supposed to be on support." I'm just sitting there like, "Oh, you're one of those. Oh
Mm,
my god." So I thought like that would at least, be something that kind of helps me stand out. Um, I don't know what else I could add to it, honestly. Like I really just try and be myself and I react the way that I want to react. I'm just being myself 100%. And if people don't like that, if people don't like who I am when I'm being myself, that's totally fine on them because I have all these other people who love chatting with me, accept me. So I don't know how much more I could add to it because really, I'm just being myself when I stream.
mm. Is there anything hindering you from being more successful as a streamer? Perhaps something you would like to change?
Honestly, my day job. My day job. And I do have mental health issues. Um, I've suffered with depression and anxiety. I still have my anxiety. I just tend to not really show it much on stream. Um, Sometimes I have days where my mental health is extremely bad, and that would, in turn, like I'd get sick. I said this last night. I actually, ever since moving to Europe, I've gotten more and more sick, and I feel like more seasonal depression here because it's so dark and gloomy, and that sometimes hinders me from streaming. Sometimes I push through it because I love my community. They really really motivate me to stream more. Um, but yeah, if I could just fix my brain and not have a day job, that means I could stream more, be happier at home around my partner and my cat. Yeah, that would be the thing I would change. But right now it's a little impossible. So right now I just have to work hard towards making it possible.
Do you open up about your mental health to your community?
My community knows I've suffered with mental health issues before. I think a lot of people in my community, like we're young, right? Most of the people in my community are my age or just a little older or teenagers. And in this day and age, I don't know anyone who doesn't have mental health issues, whether it being minor or major. And I think my streams, or at least my, my community, it's a safe space for that. It's a safe space for people to be able to talk about it. And if they need help, reach out. I always tell people, like, just message me if you need anything, because I know what it's like to be in their shoes. I know how it feels to have extremely bad mental health or bad mental health days. And yeah, like, I feel like I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much. Just
No,
tell me to stop.
it's perfect.
But yeah, no. All right. Period.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What is your biggest fear as a streamer?
My biggest fear. Now that's something I've never really thought about. Oh, actually, I guess getting permabanned, losing my channel altogether, like that's my biggest fear. But so far, I've kept within Twitch's TOS and community guidelines, and I don't think I could ever mess up too bad. So I'm not really scared of anything.
And today, do you still have any insecurities about yourself as a streamer?
Um, a little bit. One of them being, like, I guess the quality of gameplay, because I'm not a pro gamer. I'm not in the Overwatch League. I'm not top 500. There are a lot of people in my chat who are much, much, much better than I am at this video game, and that would be one of my insecurities, because I want to give quality content. Not only do I want to be able to chat with everyone, but I also want them to enjoy my gameplay. It's cool when I mess up here and there. My chat have a laugh. I have a laugh as well. Um, but yeah, I think, do you know the saying, like, we are our biggest critics? Do you know that saying?
Not sure.
It's basically meaning, like, you will be the hardest judge to yourself.
Mhm.
You judge yourself harder than anyone else, and I don't think I know many people who don't judge themselves extremely hard more than anyone else, like, judges them.
Mhm.
So there's always going to be something different on each day that I, like, nitpick for myself. Like, I wish I could have done that better. I wish I could have, because I also have a face cam. I also worry that if I look ugly, like, people wouldn't want to stick around. Um, I've always been a little vain with my appearance
Mhm.
as well. So I sometimes get a bit insecure about my appearance on stream. So, like, recently I've started to wear more makeup on stream, when at the start I didn't really put on a lot of makeup. I kind of just put on some lipstick and I'm good to go. I can stream, no makeup, no nothing. But there's always something. Okay, that's a lie. There's not always something, but there's, sometimes there's something each day that I find that I wish I could change or make better.
So far, the majority of people I've interviewed turned out to be introverts. And
Really?
yeah, it seems that streaming is more attractive to introverts. Why do you think that is?
I guess it's because you don't have to be face to face with anyone. You're in the comfort of your own home. You're doing something that gives you peace, or, something that you just enjoy doing. Like, I can see the appeal to the introverts, but also, like, if you're too introverted on Twitch, especially if you want to build a community, you're going to struggle. And you kind of have to learn to be comfortable with yourself and put yourself out there. But again, I do see the appeal.
Mm. Do you think that the individual nature of streaming can potentially harm society? Why or why not?
Why would it harm society? Like, what? Can you give me an example of how it could harm society?
Well, streamers stay at home instead of going out. They prefer social interactions over internet instead of real ones. So do you think that can harm society?
Uh, Honestly, growing up on the internet is probably the worst thing that anyone can do for themselves. I think social media is toxic. I think the internet, lots of parts, it's toxic. I think people should limit themselves more. Go touch some grass, because that's never killed anyone. Um, yeah, I think it'll make people just strange. I think we're seeing a lot of what the internet and being introverted and what chronically being on the internet can do to people now. Like, I think we see it on Twitter, we see it on TikTok, we see it on Instagram, and yeah, just chronically being inside in your home on the internet, whether it's streaming or just chilling on your phone, is going to have an impact on society. It's going to have an impact on your own mental health. If you're sadder, you go out sadder, you look at the world sadder. You make other people sad because they can see that you're sad and they don't want you to be sad. And, you don't live life.
Yeah,
Like, streaming is great. I love it so much, but, balance is better. Balance is so much better. So yeah, I I worry about what people who stay inside more, or like how bad it's going to become, where it's going to be hard for people to interact with strangers and stuff like that.
right. Do you feel that online communication, like talking to people in chat or in voice chat, is a good enough substitute for real life socialization, especially for introverts?
Um, no. I don't know if a lot of people agreeing with me or not, but this is just my personal opinion. I don't think it's a good substitute, you know? Like, people should go outside, people should say hi to a stranger, smile at a stranger, just breathe some air. Like, I think it's good to socialize and meet new people on the outside, and like find people on the outside to surround yourself with, on the days or the nights that you don't feel like streaming. You want to go out, hang out with a friend, have someone close by to you, because having friends on the internet is great. Never been against that. I have lots of incredible friends I've met through the internet and are still on the internet. But going out and meeting and socializing with people, you know, in the real world can do so much good for someone's mental health and quality of life, and also can give them some sort of security, of not actually being alone.
Mm.
Because even though you have hundreds of friends on the internet, you know, that doesn't make you any less lonely.
And how do you yourself balance your online life and your real life?
Well, my partner actually pushes me to spend, to always make time for each other. Like, at night, we both stop streaming. I make food and we sit down and we watch one movie or a series together, and after that, if we still feel like sitting down and watching a movie or something or going to sleep, then we do that. Or if we both feel like just chilling on our computers, then we do that. Or if we're ever invited out anywhere, we don't bail. So if we're invited to go have food to a birthday party, we go. We don't make an excuse, or, we stop streaming for the day so we can go be with our real life friends. Because, in the end, you will always have friends, right? And the internet isn't forever.
Mm. Approximately how much time off stream do you spend thinking about streaming?
Not much, really. Not much at all. Sometimes the only times I would think about streaming is if there's something that I want to change to the aesthetic of my stream. That'll be really the only time. Or, that one time where I say to myself, okay, I have to stream tomorrow. Or I tell myself, I'm going to try and stream this long tomorrow. But other than that, I don't really think about stream much off of stream.
And if you could give up streaming to live a successful life, would you do it?
Thing is, my successful life would be streaming. I don't, I wasn't able to finish school, high school. I can't go to any universities. I can't really do anything unless I move back to Australia. And that country did the worst to my mental health and my well being. So, honestly, like realistically, I can't think about anything other than streaming as my career. I can do all these other like little day jobs that, you don't need any experience for. But for the rest of my life, that's not something I see myself doing. So my successful life is working towards this. And I don't plan to just be successful in streaming. I also plan to be a successful cosplayer as well and content creator. I have many talents. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm talented. I I'm a certified makeup artist. I know how to build props. I know how to wig style. I can do makeup on myself and other people. I'm a video editor. Well, I can do like the basic YouTube video editing. Um, and I feel like, you know, I'll always have a backup if I also work towards that.
When you stream, do you keep an eye out on how many viewers you have?
Once every hour. So I have a bot in my chat. I'm thinking if I should take it out or not, but I don't really like to look at my views constantly. I like to look every hour to see how I'm doing, if what I'm doing is, getting more viewers or keeping viewers in, if I, need to change something up or stop talking about something. But no, I don't really look at it much. I think that's a toxic thing to do. And it does ruin your mood if you aren't, like, I don't know, strong enough to look at it, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Some streamers use a camera, some prefer to not use one, and some use VTubing.
Hmm.
What advantage do you think having a camera gives you?
It's more personal. Um, For me, I love watching streamers with a face cam. That's something that I will prefer over anything else. I feel like the streamer is more personal with their chat. You can see their reactions. There's more emotion, and personally, I just think it's more fun. It's more fun to see the streamer and watch them focus in at a certain time, or you know react to a certain thing that happens in the game or whatever they're doing. I just think it's more interesting to see them.
Okay. What games do you stream and why those games?
I stream mainly Overwatch. I'm trying to get back into a little bit of Apex Legends. Um, I love FPS games. They're honestly what they tickle my brain in the right spot. I started with Overwatch after I started with Fortnite, and I found myself loving Overwatch a bit more. Um, and so Overwatch is the main game that I play. I work hard to try to, win my games. And that's where I built a lot of my community off of too. So I feel like if I switch from Overwatch to a different category, I don't know. I don't know if I'll lose the chance of getting a bigger community. Um, but I've started to try do a little bit more variety. I also used to do a little bit of horror games back in 2021. And that was really fun. So sometimes I kind of like to switch it up a little bit so more people can see the other games that I'm interested in. Oh, and Naraka Blade Point. Have you heard of that game? Have you heard
No.
of Naraka? Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's like it's free to play now, so check it out if you can. It's a beautiful Chinese style battle royale. It's melee combat, so you've got swords, dual blades, spears, everything. The characters are gorgeous. They have a near automata collaboration right now, and Near Automata is my favorite game ever.
Hmm.
It's super fun and kind of addicting. So like check it out if you're interested in that sort of stuff because it's such a good game.
I'll see about that. If you could stream whatever games you wanted without it affecting your viewership, your growth, would you stream many games, a couple, or just one?
Oh, I would stream many games. Like I have a lot of interest in single player games. Like the one game that really got me hooked to actually gaming back when I had my PlayStation 3. It was Assassin's Creed. So like I found single player games the most fun for me, and like I said, my favorite game of all time is Nier, mainly Nier Automata, but the previous Nier Replicant is also my favorite. Final Fantasy games I love. So I would play a lot of single player games as well as multiplayer FPS. So yeah, it would be a massive. I would have a massive variety channel if my viewership wasn't affected by what game I played.
Okay. What do you think the formula of success is for streaming?
The formula.
Well, like maybe a to-do list of the things you need to do to be successful, to increase your chances.
Well, Twitch's discovery is absolutely freaking horrible. So yeah, you have to do quite a bit on the side. So creating short form content. So not only do you have Twitch, but you need to be active on other platforms. So YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks, if you can do all of those, perfect. If you can make, you know, one or two videos, like one or two full videos a week for your YouTube to kind of get your name out there, great. Advertising your stream on Twitter, having a platform on Twitter, great. Interacting with other streamers that are around the same size as you, same games you play, kind of same, personality, or like someone that, you like their personality and stuff. You need to kind of put yourself out there as much as you can. And really think about the type of community you want to have. Because when you do start growing, you want loyalty, you want friends, you want people who keep coming back. So, having a goal of what type of community you want, what you allow your community to do in your Discord or in your chat. So, that's kind of the formula. Also, timing. Timing. So, um, whatever game you're playing. So I'll give you an example for Overwatch because that's the game that I mainly play. There's a peak hour. There is always a peak hour, and unfortunately, it is always NA streamers who kind of get the better chance at growing because NA streamers are they are the one of the major demographics on Twitch. So you need to look at when it isn't peak hour, when all the bigger streamers are on, and stream when the bigger streamers aren't on, or stream when the bigger streamers are ending. Because, say, like, the bigger streamers are ending, people are still on Twitch, they want to look for another streamer to watch. Some people use Twitch to fall asleep, some people use Twitch as background noise, and they just want to watch anyone. So, being able to stream at those times when the bigger streamers, especially the ones from NA, aren't on, is probably one of the best things to think about. That, and again, doing the short form content and branching out and chatting in other streamers and supporting other streamers. Don't just chat to other streamers and kind of use them or whatever, because that's fucking horrible. Don't do that. But, you know, try and grow, make friends in the streaming community. Um, because it's great. Like, you're never alone, you know? You kind of always have someone to talk to. They come into your streams as well. They, you know, crack a joke with you. It's great. So yeah, those are the three important things.
Mm. Would you advise other people to pick up streaming? Why or why not?
Honestly, like, I think what I'm saying makes streaming sound like so much fun, but it is a lot of hard work. And if you don't have thick skin, you are going to be disappointed if your main goal is to make it a career, make money out of it, you know? I think if you watch any tips and tricks to do with streaming, the biggest tip that these people give you is never go into it thinking you're going to make a lot of money. Never go into it thinking it's going to be your job. Never go into it thinking you're going to blow up and explode. Um, so if you have thick skin and you think of streaming as a hobby and not a job, and you don't expect anything big from the start, especially if you don't plan to do the other things that I said, like the short form content, branching out, stuff like that, then don't don't stream, because, you know, you will be disappointed. But if you're ready to work hard, if you're not expecting growth within the first 5 days of streaming, try it. Go ahead and find people who will watch your streams, moderate for your streams. Lots of streamers nowadays, especially smaller streamers, in their discords, they have like a share my stream channel. You know, put yourself into that. It's, you know, the channel is there for a reason. Just link your stream and say, hey, I'm streaming this. So yeah, if you're thick-skinned and you're ready to work hard, stream. Go ahead. It's probably one of the best things that you will do in your life, because it's a lot of fun in the end.
Mm. What was your first streaming experience like? Was it good or bad?
It was good, actually. At the time, I had, you know, my friends from PlayStation. They came up in my chat and, you know, were talking with me and joking around with me. I didn't stream for very long for my first time. I think I streamed for about like an hour and a half. It was like an hour and a half of Fortnite or something. So, but it was good. It was good, and it made me want to try it again. So, yeah. But again, at the start, I didn't expect anything from it, especially because of the quality of PlayStation 4 streams. But yeah, definitely a good first experience.
Mm. Do you have any stories of overcoming difficulties and succeeding as a streamer?
Well, yes, there was a time back in 2021 where it wasn't just because of streaming, it was also my cosplay. I realized that a lot of my friends, like real life friends, they thought I was looking too much into the numbers. And this is why I say looking at numbers is super toxic, because it affects you. It affects you without you even realizing it. And I had a friend sit me down, and she said, "You cannot get mad with anything that I'm about to say to you. You cannot. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you see what you're doing. And you need to, you know, take some time." So she sat me down. She said, "You're being a bad friend. You're being ignorant. All you do is think about numbers. And all you do is talk about making content and being consistent and being perfect and all of this and all of that." And I started to cry, because like this was my best friend at the time. I respect her, and I still respect her very, very much. And so I made the decision to take a break. My break only lasted a month, but it was a month of barely any social media, barely any streaming.
And I kind of took the time to let the feeling of passion come back into me. At 2 weeks, it was a bit hard. I was like worrying, like, oh my god, my stream is going to die. No one's going to like any of my content, all of this. And it was horrible. I lost a friendship, almost lost a friendship, sorry. Um, but the passion came back to me slowly. And I came back with a better mindset and stopped looking at the numbers, did it for the fun. And yeah, so at that time, I became weak. I became basically how I explained if you're not, thick skinned, if you don't have a thick skin, I became weak. My skin got softer.
Mm-hmm.
But I did overcome that with my friend's help. She, really let me know what the hell was happening. So yeah, that's really been my only challenge. I'm fortunate to never have had to have any sort of tough challenges or anything like that.
If you were in charge of Twitch, what would you change about streaming on that platform?
Oh my god, the 50-50 revenue split. The 50-50 revenue split and the ad split too. Streamers work freaking hard. like I said before, streaming is not the easiest. And I think any streamer or anyone who is a content creator on Twitch will agree with me on this. It's horrible. It's really bad. And I would make the discovery better. I would have a section where it's like popular streamers, and then I would have a section where you could see smaller streamers. And I would make sure that the smaller streamers aren't hidden all the way at the bottom. Like it would be one of the top tabs, Because there's hundreds and thousands of streamers out on Twitch right now. I don't know the exact number. I think there's like a couple million or something by now. But sometimes people need a push, and Twitch should be helping those content creators because, essentially we bring in their money. We bring in their revenue. They make money off of us, and so we want to be treated a lot fairer. So yeah, the subscription split and the ad revenue split definitely changed that. And then again, tabs for better discovery for smaller streamers, depending on the game that the viewer is interested in.
Mm-hmm. And having streamed for as long as you have and having as many viewers and followers as you have, I'm sure you have had some negative experiences with your chat, for example. So what steps do you take to not take things personally?
I keep reminding myself it's the internet. Like, sometimes I will have days where something bad will happen or someone says something and it'll get to me, but most of the time it never gets to me. I have great mods, actually. I have Hadi, who I think is watching you currently. I have Bully. I have my friend Will. They're great. They're kind of like the protectors of my chat. But no, again, I really just keep telling myself, like, it's the internet. I shouldn't take anything personally. And I have moderators who know what to do if any sort of like bullying or toxicity comes into my chat.
Mm. And if you could advertise your Twitch channel anywhere, where would it be?
If I could advertise my Twitch channel,
yeah,
anywhere that you can, anywhere, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, anywhere that you can, you advertise it. And again, like I said, in a lot of streamers' TikToks, sorry, not TikToks, Discords, Discord channels, they will have a share your stream. So like, advertise anywhere that you see, you have an opportunity to.
Is there anything as a streamer you avoid doing because it isn't your strength?
Anything that I avoid doing? No, not really. I don't really avoid anything. If I if I try it and I'm not that great at something, then I'm not that great at it. But, I mainly do as much as I can.
If your channel was immediately beyond successful, what changes would you make and why?
I guess production quality. I'd be able to, afford a stream deck. I would have, incredible artistically designed scenes, better camera, just better everything. Like everything would just be very high quality. Anything that can be high quality, I would make it high quality. Even like down to my background that you see in my face cam, which is like barely any background. I would just make it high quality and aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
How do you feel about ultimately being in a position of authority as a streamer? Does the responsibility bother you?
No, not really. I've always been someone that's taken on a lot of responsibility. Um, like I was in a supervisor position back at one of my jobs in Australia. I've had to do a lot of managing, and I left home when I was 17. I ran away from home, so like having a lot of responsibility is nothing new to me. But if it does ever get overwhelming, then I'm not afraid to ask for help.
And if you could do whatever you wanted with the authority you gained from streaming, what would you do?
That's that's something I've never thought about. Honestly, that kind of sounds like saying like if you could do like whatever you wanted to do. That kind of makes it sound evil. But I don't know. I would just be more pushing to spread some sort of positivity in the gaming scene, especially towards like female gamers. We do have it a lot harder. Um, like we can't sugarcoat that anymore. Um, but no, I don't really know what I'd do.
If you were having a tough time in a game and you wanted to quit the stream for that day, but your community was begging you to continue, would you do it?
Um, no, I would always put my mental health first. And fortunately, my community is kind of on the same mindset. We got to look after each other first, or we're never going to be okay. Putting your mental health first will always be the most important thing because you can always just come back to streaming if you feel better, you know? Getting yourself calm and, in the zone is something that you should focus on first before you continue streaming and entertaining an audience. Because if you don't, you could just feel even more overwhelmed.
Mm.
And I actually recently had to do that on Saturday. It was a horrible gaming session, unfortunately, and I had to end my stream earlier because I was really getting tilted. My mental wasn't too great. So I wanted to do a 6 hour stream, but only was able to do a 4 hour stream because I just felt like my mood and my mental state was just brought very far down to the point where streaming wouldn't help me feel better. And I don't want to, you know, annoy or burden any of my viewers and my community members with that.
Mm. If you could host any community event for your community and money and time was no object, what kind of event would you host?
And money and time wasn't like
Yeah, it was
a problem.
unlimited.
Okay. I already host pugs or like pickup games or scrims every second Saturday. I guess what I would do is actually do a full on tournament. I would love to do a tournament with a prize pool and that would just be awesome if I could like ever have the money to do a tournament and have a bunch of people just play. I would make the tournament have like one specific rule though. I don't know what rule that would be, but to like make it a little funny or fun just in general, I would, I would definitely do a tournament.
What subjects as a streamer do you feel are difficult or impossible for you to delve into?
Um, nothing, like I try and stay as unpolitical as possible. There's a lot of there could be a lot of problems or tension when any topic of any sort of political agenda or movement comes up. Um, because streaming and gaming, I think streaming and gaming, there's a time and place for everything. And I think unless you really want to, have your stream as the time and place for it, I think it should, kind of stay out of it. Um, Other than that, there aren't a lot of topics that I'm uncomfortable with. Like I said before, mental health, I'm totally fine talking about it. Um, I used to suffer, well, I still do kind of suffer with eating disorders. Eating disorders is something, that a lot of people are having to deal with nowadays. Like I feel more and more people nowadays, especially with depression, like are suffering with depression and eating disorders. So I try and make sure people feel like it's not a bad thing to talk about their problems. And if things do get a little bit too much for my chat, I will invite them to speak to me privately in DMs. But
Mm.
other than that, unless it's political, I'm not afraid of a lot of topics.
And do you have an ideal age range for your streams?
My youngest viewer, I believe, is 14. My oldest viewer, I'm unsure. You know, I think a lot of kids these days are a lot more mature. They're more mature for their age. But if you want me to give an exact answer, I guess 14 is like the youngest that I will allow anyone to
Mhm.
watch my stream. Doesn't matter how old you are though. Like if you're older than 30, 40, 50, if you're just here to chill in my chat, watch some gameplay and you're not freaking weird, you know? Come on, come on. I don't care, you
Mm.
know? Like we're all just chilling. I just want it to be a fun, safe space.
Have you ever faced any pressure from your fellow streamers?
Any pressure? No, no, actually not really. I'm not the type of person to get pressured, like to get pressured quite a lot. Like getting overwhelmed isn't something that, you know, happens to me a lot. Um yeah, so no, not really.
Okay. And provided the opportunity, what would you want to inform your audience of to make the world a better place?
It's super easy to just be kind, it doesn't cost you anything. And of course, never judge someone too quickly. Take some time to get to know people. Take some time to go outside and touch some grass, socialize, and remember that this is only the internet. There's only so much the internet can give for you and do for you. And always put yourself first because, you have to live with yourself for the rest of your life.
I have talked to 10 streamers so far, and it seems that for a lot of them, streaming is having a positive influence on their life. It's giving them stuff to do, it gives them a routine, a schedule, keeps them active, productive, motivated,
Mm-hmm.
and it does help some of them with their mental health. So, my question is, has streaming been a positive influence on your life? And if yes, in what way?
100%. Like I said before, I used to be a bit of an introvert. My anxiety was horrible. I couldn't talk to anyone, sorry. But streaming helped that so much. And confidence wise, I feel like I'm more confident now because, I think about it, right? Like I put myself out there. I'm streaming to 30, 40 plus people. Like and everyone has been super kind and super lovely. There's always going to be like one or two people that pop in here and there and are just so toxic towards you, but like so far for the amount of time I've been streaming, everything has gone so smoothly. No one has ever judged me. Everyone's always said positive things about me. So like it has helped so much with my anxiety and my stage fright. Um it gives me something to do. It makes me get better at video games that I want to get better at. It makes me actually try new things as well and meet new people and kind of help with my networking skills as well. I've never been great with like reaching out or like putting myself out there with other people or making connections. Like, if you were to ask to do an interview with me maybe 6, 7 months ago, I would have just left you on red because
Mm-hmm.
I would have been so scared to say yes to anything.
Mm.
So it's helped me say yes a bit more. Of course, I'm careful, but it's helped me say yes a bit more. But yeah, just anything positive that's happened in my life is has something to do with streaming, and of course, like friends. Making friends has always been a very hard thing for me. I think I still struggle making friends, at least in real life. But online, I was horrible at making friends, and now I'm making friends left and right, and it's great. It's incredible.
What advice would you give to a new streamer who just started? He has 0 viewers, nobody in their text chat, and they don't really know what to talk about on stream. How do they entertain an audience?
Well, one, turn off your viewer count. You don't want to see that. Um, Imagine that you do have viewers in your chat, like lurkers. Lurkers are everywhere. Lurkers make the Twitch world go round. That's what I say. Um, and start with just exaggerating your reactions. Start with maybe narrating what's happening in the game. You don't have to do it every second of the time that you're streaming, but here and there. If you have access to that option, have some music playing. And don't think too much about the outcome of your streaming career just from one stream. Keep going. Try different games, try different times. There's always new ways for you to try and better a schedule so you have a better chance of discoverability. Because at the start, it's always going to be trial and error, and you will learn how to get better at kind of talking to yourself and finding the right time to stream if you just have trial and error.
So, would you say that being an entertainer is a skill that you can develop?
Yes, 100%. You can develop that skill. Like some people are natural entertainers. I was never a natural at entertaining, but it came over time. So yeah, it's definitely a skill you can develop. 100%.
If
Like
you
you don't have to have the best gameplay. I'm sorry. You, you don't have to have the best gameplay, but as long as you can learn to talk to yourself and talk to a small amount of people, a big amount of people, you know, you can get loyal viewers and an active chat even if you think your gameplay isn't the best like mine.
I'm not sure if I asked you this, but if you suddenly had $1 million, how would that change your life and would it affect your streaming?
It wouldn't affect my streaming, no. Um excuse me. I've always told myself that if I ever won the lottery, I'd still be working. I wouldn't retire, I wouldn't do anything. I would put that away, or I would do things to make my life and my family's life better. But that wouldn't stop me from streaming at all. In fact, that would make me want to stream more because I have access to better quality equipment. more materials and stuff for my cosplay streams. I could even get a studio if I wanted. And of course, like I would, with $1 million, I would help my parents out too.
Are there any questions that I didn't ask you but I should have?
No, you've asked a lot of really good questions, actually.
Okay. Then, closing thoughts. Is there something you would like our viewers to know about yourself and about streaming? Some advice that you could give them that will help them along?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are a lot of streamers out there that are super happy with helping. You can always come to my community. Everyone in my community is extremely helpful. There's a lot of tech-savvy people there. But yeah, one of my biggest things that I would say is don't be afraid to ask for help. If you ever need it, look for it. Especially if you don't know where to go, just come to my community. I love my community. Like, they're incredible. Everyone in my community is incredible. And I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to have. Or just ask Beast Hadi. I'm in your chat. Or just ask Beast Hadi.
All right. One final question.
Sure.
What is one thing in your life that you feel fortunate to have? The one thing that makes you feel lucky?
My partner. Is that cheesy?
No, that's all
No?
right.
Okay, good. Yeah. My partner. He's also a streamer. He's a much bigger streamer than I am, more well known in the community. But he has helped me more than anyone else has. He keeps me in check. He gives me tips on streaming. He reminds me that it is just the internet. Whenever I have the bad days and I'm worrying about something, he always reminds me, like, it's not permanent. There's always going to be better days, and you just have to work hard. So I'm fortunate to have him. He teaches me a lot as well. I think like I think I truly have found a partner that I can be with for a very long time.
All right. Well, this has been an exciting interview for me. Thank you for coming. I can definitely say that you have a fun and cheerful personality. It's no surprise that you have so many viewers, and I'm sure you will continue growing.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. The interview was really, really fun. Like, you had a lot of great questions. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.